Hey everyone, Margarita here. I'm going to film this video today on the long list of crimes that my mother has gotten away with to this day, using other people and very large agencies, smaller companies, anywhere in between. I'm going to read a list of these off because currently these crimes are still ongoing. I have been releasing videos on a lot of these crimes. I know there's people in the background grasping for straws, trying to save their own ass at this point. And nobody's come forward, and there's been no arrests, so that tells me there's a little more going on than I initially realized. This is very extreme. This will make national news once it all does finally blow. And it's only going to be a matter of time. It's not going to be much longer, especially with the information that I do have, and what I have been releasing and what I'm going to continue to release. So no, I'm not going to shut up. So if you're involved, you better run for the hills, because I'm not going to shut up until you're in prison too. Now, what I can prove, just what I can prove off what I do have currently, I have enough to lock her up for the rest of her life. I do know that. With what I've uncovered, she's, racked up probably about 100,000 years in prison with what I do have, with what I do know has occurred personally. Now, none of that's going to be provable to that degree at this point, all these decades in, but I'm going to name what I do know happened, and I can prove much of what is on this list, at least one count of each, if not more than one. So, yeah, like I've counted 27 direct individuals that I know of as of today, directly, and I believe I'm at 17 large agencies or companies involved. And I'm sure there's more. There's people I'm completely unaware of or have never met, companies as well, agencies, stuff like that. I'm sure there's more, and I'm sure more will be again to be uncovered as stuff comes out. So I'm just going to read the list of the crimes that I 100% know she committed. And I can prove, like I said, I can prove at least one count of each one of these. And there's more than one of most of them. So the first one, there is hundreds to thousands of counts of poisoning food with intent to do great bodily harm or cause death. Literally, I mean hundreds to thousands of counts of that. There is between 30 and 50 counts of poisoning food, where causing great bodily harm actually did occur, or it contributed to a death, for sure. Now, there is one count of attempted murder where she was caught in the act on me, directly. She was caught in the act. Separate from the poisoned food. So that is its own thing. Brownstown Police Department has refused to take my reports on it. They've refused to investigate. I only have one report where it says I'm reporting it again. At no time has anybody even attempted to investigate. Because she repeats to them over and over for 25 years now that I've had this ongoing mental disorder all this time. And so she controls everybody at the Brownstown Police Department for the most part. And if she doesn't control them, the people at the top control the ones at the bottom who have no knowledge of the situation. And they're still participating. So everybody there cannot be trusted. That still has not been investigated to this day. My witness still hasn't been questioned, and neither has Charmaine, who was also a secondary witness because she was confronted about the attempted murder down the line. Not far down the line. She was brought in person, and her response says that that's what she was doing. So that is a fact. A fact. That's not including all the other times, she played a role in making sure I wouldn't be here anymore. So there's also 3 counts of preventing treatment in an extreme life-threatening medical emergency, which led to extreme physical suffering 3 years straight before there was 1 day of relief, causing further great bodily harm and permanent injury and disability to myself and my now 9-year-old son, at least 3 times directly. Now, she used other Beaumont employees to enter the false information into our medical records those 3 times, which her intent was to cause great bodily harm and or death, which then caused future incidences where Beaumont employees then continued to prevent medical treatment in the extreme medical emergency, which remained ongoing for years. And the ongoing effects from that initial injury, which caused even further great bodily harm and permanent injury and disability in myself and my 9-year-old son. So at the time that all began, he was 2. At the time that all began, of the 3 times she directly inserted herself and began that, because she farms things. She grows it over the course of time. She plants little seeds and waters them. She'll plant a seed here with this person, one over there with that agency, one over here. And then she gets other people to water the seeds for her over the course of decades. So all of these people at Beaumont are directly involved as well. But her planning those initial 3, where she prevented us from getting treatment when we were near death from carbon monoxide poisoning, and it had already broken through my brain. I was near death for a very long time. You can view all my other videos on that. There is the 3 near-death experience videos as well. And then I am going to release, it'll be a separate playlist, but it'll be the more extreme parts of my injury, because I've not gotten into the extreme parts of the injury due to the nature of how urgent these videos are and how I need to get them out there. I just did the baseline of the injury. I believe there's 20-something videos, and then I'll go back and I'll do the extreme portion of the injury, because I've not quite talked about all that just yet, because it is very extreme. Now that is directly my mother's doing, her as a Beaumont employee, and the other people she had used and pulled aside to enter that false information. And then from there, even though she's nowhere in the vicinity and long gone, and now she's been retired since right before COVID, didn't matter. Every time I'm brought back there, this false information that's still in our medical file plays an ongoing role in us being left untreated, because we have ongoing effects, and we will for life. So when there's urgent situations, when we require oxygen or treatment, we can't get it. And it's due to those initial 3 times that she physically inserted herself and got other people to enter false information into our medical files. So there are many people involved in backing that up as well who work for Beaumont, or they used to, or they still do. So basically any person who's ever had my medical file in their hands within Beaumont since 2018 to current is liable as well. And so there's many. And so I did not count that in those 27 direct individuals. So like I said, there's way more than 27. Now, she is guilty of criminal defamation of character, libel, and slander, thousands of counts of that. Because all of that defamation of character, all that gossip, all that slander, all that talk, flapping her jaw all over town, flapping it to every neighbor, every coworker, every family member, every friend, everybody, all the delusional phone calls to all these agencies and people, that has nearly cost me my life many other times. It is due to her direct actions of flapping her jaw and placing delusional phone calls to all these people and agencies, and destroying my life to an extreme degree, to where I'm never going to live a normal life due to this. So what she has done in that manner, that is criminal. Normally defamation of character and slander and such is not a criminal act. In this case it is, because it's nearly caused me to die numerous times, and I did die again and came back on my own without medical intervention. She is directly responsible for that, and it is her flapping of the jaw that has caused that directly. Thousands of counts. So every person who's ever heard all this bullshit about me, that's another time. Anytime she's ever talked to that person and said something else, that's another time. It's thousands, tens of thousands, I'm sure, because I'm 41. So yes, that has led to further bodily injury and a more extreme degree of disability due to that directly. Now there is hundreds of counts of making false police reports officially, And hundreds of counts of placing delusional phone calls to police departments, court systems, adult protective services, child protective services, Ford Motor Company, city officials in Flat Rock, Michigan, and other large agencies and small organizations. A lot of those are unofficially, because none of these people want to be caught with their hands dirty. They just helped her participate. But in the end, many of these people are going to become exposed, and it's going to become known. And you can tell by what's actually going on in my life, in my surroundings, and in the area, that a lot of this is unofficially, it's not documented, but the fallout is real. So it's going to be able to be proved. There is many people involved in that as well, because all of those people and agencies have helped her. So there is some of these reports are on paper as well, so that some of them are provable on paper. Now, she's filed false court proceedings and used attorneys to do so and lie on her behalf with Wayne County friend of the court once, Monroe County friend of the court twice, 2 separate occasions, Monroe County CPS using Courtney Villarreal as the CPS worker who she got this woman to take the case to court to take my kids from me on the delusions my mother told her. And then the woman threatened me in the hallway after the court case was over, and the judge dismissed the entire thing because what she was saying wasn't adding up with my lifestyle and what I had provided for myself up until that point in my life. So that woman is directly responsible for me having to leave my first home as well. That was the start of all of the stumbling and fumbling and basically trying to keep everything going while I'm being chased by agencies and having to leave homes over this. That was the beginning of it. She was the first major person involved in helping my mother do that because I should have never been forced from my first home initially 22 years ago. So Courtney Villarreal plays a big role in that because everything piggybacks off each situation. She played a very large role directly. Now you have the Wayne County Probate Court, which was done about 6 months ago with my dad's case and him needing a guardian because of my mother's crimes, which I can prove are crimes. No, still nobody's investigating, and I have the proof. And that's also the reason I'm banned from seeing my dad, is because these are crimes that my mother has committed, and she's turned around and pointed the finger at me as if I committed those crimes, when I actually have the proof that she committed those crimes, which is then how it landed in probate court. But either way, that probate court case played out fraudulently as well. Several people involved in that as well, direct people. So yes, we do have those names. I am going to get into that in its own episode, that specific situation. Now, there is 4 counts of kidnapping where my mother has used Brownstown Police Department, which also had led to an 18-month truancy on my daughter as a minor still, because they believe my mother had custody of and had raised my older 2 kids. So she's one of my older 2 kids. 4 counts of kidnapping. And this can be proven. This can be proven. All 4 counts. Now, and the truancy. The father was actually charged with the truancy. The Brownstown Police Department needs to be charged because they refused to return my daughter repeatedly. And the Flat Rock Police Department as well, because they played a role as well. Because not only that, she stole my mortgage payment at the same time, which is why she was playing the narcissistic triangulation game that my mother taught her, to make sure she wouldn't have to come home after stealing all that money. So, yes, both of those police departments are involved directly in helping my mother with that. And the proof is in the pudding, because the father did get charged, and they kept trying to charge me, and I said, you're not charging me with that. I've already done everything in my power to get her back, and these cops believe that she has custody of her, and that's never been real. Those are delusions. So yes, those are, one of them's fairly frequent. The other one, or well, I guess you could say 2 of those are fairly frequent, because it was numerous times I tried to get her back. And then 2 of them were from 2013. And there is 5 plus counts of fraud. One of them after my dad's attempted murder on 1/8 of 2024. One of them happened 10 days later. But there is at least 5 counts of fraud, probably more than that. I can prove the majority of what I do have on all of that. And then my mother used false documents, like I'd stated, to not only ban me from the care facility and seeing my dad, but ban me from every hospital as a visitor. And it had already been farmed along the way as a patient as well, and my son as well. So when we have urgent situations from our ongoing effects from our injuries, we can't get treatment. We get kicked. I was brought in dead and kicked right out onto the street, drenched from head to toe in blood after being unresponsive for 15 minutes and a giant gash in my head. A whole hole in my head after the oxygen had been cut off while I was standing up. Then fell over and cracked my head open. Kicked out, dead. So you can view that on the near-death experience number 3 video, because I did all 3 of my near-death experience video. 2 of them I did die and come back. 1 of them was a near-death experience. But there was many others during the severe part of the carbon monoxide poisoning and the brain injuries being untreated as well. So I'll get to that, like I said, in its own playlist. But there is those 3 videos already up. And now during all this, you know, she's using police departments to harass me as well, and hospital employees and court systems while all of this is going on, while I'm fighting for my life. That is what has been going on all of these years, heavily since my injury in 2018. That's what kind of caused everything to come out and everything to become fully known, is because she went so heavy with it, and I was so close to death. She basically started telling on herself because she wanted to make sure I didn't make it out of that injury, and she wanted to make sure my younger son didn't make it out of that injury, because he's not allowed to have a relationship with her. So, you know, she's got this underlying, like, disgruntled behavior about it, because she's not allowed to have a relationship with him. She's not allowed to manipulate him the way she did my other kids, because I saw exactly what was going on in 2013. So she feels some type of way about it, and basically wanted us both gone. So it wasn't just me, it was both of us. So once we both got near death, that's how we ended up at the Oxford Center, where we spent $165,000 out of pocket to treat ourselves, and my private insurance spent another almost $200,000 as well. And now that they're closed down, we don't have proper treatment anymore. Not only that, we're out of funds. And this is all due to my mother's crimes and the crimes of these large agencies and all these people helping her as well. So everything ties together. We do walk a very fine line between life and death, and for the foreseeable future, we most likely will stay that way. Now, my mother is the ringleader of all of these decades of ongoing police harassment and the harassment from the people at the hospitals when we try to seek treatment. Prior to my injury becoming extreme in 2018, I had no medical history. I wasn't a part of the medical system. So that's proof in itself that what she's saying and doing and what's being said about me isn't real. So, but yeah, she is the ringleader of all of these. There's been false arrests. There's been threats to be made, more false arrests on me. There is direct police officers involved. Sergeant Matthew Wilczynski in Flat Rock, Michigan, and Detective Mike Ramsey in Brownstown, Michigan. They're directly involved in that, promising to lock me up on delusions with no investigation whatsoever. And the one false arrest in Flat Rock in 2021, it did lead to great bodily harm. And the intent was to cause me to not be here anymore. That was my mother's intent. It did cause extreme bodily harm and reversed over $100,000 of the treatment I had to pay for out of pocket. And now that the center's closed, we're not going to be able to get that type of treatment to even get back to where I was that day. That was almost 4 years ago. So this idiot belongs in prison for the rest of his life. And I promise you, when I get done with everything I'm doing and everybody I'm exposing, he will be in prison for the rest of his life. There will be no deals on his ass. Yeah, spread it, like, share, subscribe, follow along with my story, because I'm just getting started and I'm at 101 videos. It's going to be over 1,000 when I get done. I am literally just getting started. These are all actual life events too. There's nothing exaggerated. Now, there's also been 10 to 50 counts of bribery, if not more. Could be more. I'm not really sure, because like I said, there's more people involved than I'm aware or that I don't even know. But definitely 10 to 50 counts, I can promise you that. There is 5 to 50 counts of paying people to infiltrate my life. At least 5 could be closer to 50 because this has been going on longer than I'd realized. And the higher up in life I got, the more harder she tried. She was working harder and harder behind the scenes. I don't believe it's more than 50, but it is at least 5. So there is proof of payments exchanged between people. I can promise you that. Or promises for payment in the future. Now, I've never gotten the right to have freedom and enjoy my own life and have freedom and make my own decisions as an American citizen, as a human being, as an individual, as an adult, as a child. I've never had the right to enjoy my life. Ever. Ever. That's insane. I've been under the thumb of this deranged lunatic narcissist with Munchausen by proxy, committing all these decades of crimes, using all these people and agencies, and I've never had the right to make my own plans, carry them out, and live peacefully, and have the right to enjoy my life. Never. That's sick. You people are fucking sick. Every single one of you. I promise you, you're going to be doing prison time. Yeah, spread the word. Spread it all over town. I promise there's going to be so many people going to prison. Now, all of these actions of all these people and agencies over the course of, well, let's just say the last 15 years, but this has been going on for 40. They're all responsible, with my mother at the root, for me having to file Chapter 7 bankruptcy in 2011 and Chapter 13 bankruptcy in 2024, with 4 complete restarts of my life since I was age 18. That is all directly caused by her at the root using these people and agencies and other individuals. Directly. That's disgusting. So that is the end of the list that I do have. There will be more because there's more going on, like I said, than I'm even aware. But that is what I do know. So I will be releasing this video since everybody seems to think I'm looking for attention or I'm this or I'm that. No, I'm looking for justice. I've never had the right to live my own life, and now I'm permanently injured, permanently disabled for the rest of my life, and unable to rebuild in the manner in which I've built things and rebuilt things over and over because of all these people and agencies and their criminal actions. So no, I'm not looking for attention. I'm looking for justice. This woman is a deranged lunatic who's gotten away with decades of very serious crimes. And all these people have helped her. All these people and agencies have helped her. And I'm not even safe in my own home here in Flat Rock, Michigan. So I need this taken care of immediately. You know who you are if you've participated in this. You need to come forward because I will blow it out the water eventually. I'm just getting started. So you guys better figure out who you're going to throw under the bus and who you're going to get together. Nobody's getting immunity. Nobody deserves immunity. Each person who played a role deserves to be doing prison time with what has all happened to me. Every single person involved. Now, I will be back with another one. I just had to get that shit off my chest and clear a little up because there is much more to come. Follow my story. Stay along with it. It's going to make national news when I'm done. Thanks. Bye.